Taking a little trip, and there's a ton of stuff in the back. I got to get all that sorted out. Well, after a lot of driving, I finally made it to Charleston, South Carolina. I stayed in a park last night that I'm pretty sure I wasn't allowed to be in overnight, sleeping in your car, but I got up really early and finished the drive to Charleston, so here I am. I didn't really have time to get everything set up the way I want it because it was dark and I really was just unprepared. I'm going to try to get a head start on setting everything up. Basically, I packed way too much stuff. First thing I'm going to ditch on my next trip is this giant mini fridge that I've had to keep up with. It's been a huge pain. Charleston was quaint and beautiful. The cobblestone streets and old buildings took me to another time. It was easy to imagine how things might have been in this colonial city. Just take out the cars and replace them with horses. I wandered the narrow maze and took in with awe all of the pristinely kept facades. The homes were all grandiose, impressive. I got some coffee and a breakfast sandwich from Bakehouse Charleston and sat by the pineapple fountain for a while. This is apparently one of the more photographed features of the city, aside from the two iconic churches that stick out above the skyline. That's another thing I appreciated. You didn't see any skyscrapers. It gave the city a historic, timeless feel. As I walked to the end of the pier at Ravenel Park, I noticed the water was brown and had reeds floating in it, but the gentle waves in the distance still made for a nice backdrop. Charleston is an easy place to get lost in and amazed by. As I was getting lost, I found myself walking into a dungeon. Didn't expect that. I ended up taking a tour of the old Exchange and Provost Dungeon. Pleasant guides taught me of the history of what was once one of the four most prosperous cities in America, right in line with New York, Boston, and Philadelphia. I learned of the rice and indigo trade that helped propel Charleston to such a high status. The slave trade was mentioned, but referenced more so as a result of the prosperity. Now, there is an old slave mart museum, which I'm sure talks about this in more detail, but I didn't get a chance to go on this trip. More African slaves passed through the port of Charleston than any other U.S. city. 40% of those who survived the journey went through this place. It's really unbelievable and sad to think about. An interesting fact about the Exchange: this is one of the locations where the Constitution was ratified. It's one of only 4 buildings still standing from the ratification process. Fast forward to present day, Charleston is a big destination for its local cuisine. I really need to come back here when things open back up. I covered a lot of ground and still didn't even get to see everything. My attention was turned towards the Campry and really just basic survival. Man, that's perfect. This netting has magnets on it, which is perfect if the netting were going on the outside of the vehicle. Unfortunately, it needs to be stealthy because car camping is not accepted everywhere for some reason. Oh my goodness, I feel like bugs could still get in here if they really wanted to. There are a lot of bugs out here, So I guess this is the ultimate test for the Campry. Here is some path. Let's see if it leads anywhere. Just kind of ends in a weird mud pit. I have noticed quite a few beer bottles and beer cans. It is a Tuesday, and I'm hoping no one comes out here. If they do, I'm gonna have to scare them off. My mosquito netting is just, it's not good. Sketched out mostly about these bugs. I'm pretty much asking for bugs to get in this car. This is just ridiculous. Remind my future self to not pack this much stuff.
This morning, I, had my setup, and I woke up, and then maybe 20 minutes later, somebody else pulled up to a dead-end logging road right next to my car. So I hightailed it out of there, and I didn't know what their intention was, so it was very odd. But when I looked at them, I could see them, and they weren't really paying much attention to me. They were kind of just looking down in their car. But either way, I got out of there, and I didn't know he pulled up kind of behind where he could see my license plate. So I was like, well, maybe he's getting my license plate and is reporting me or something to the authorities. I don't know why that would be the case. But as soon as he stopped there, I was turning on the car and I was in the driver's seat, ready to go. I don't know where to sleep every night. I have not gotten much sleep. And then the incident this morning kind of deterred me from wanting to stay there again tonight. So I am at least making coffee, which is something that is giving me great joy, because this has not been easy. Next time I will pack a lot lighter and ditch the mini fridge. That has been a complete burden. This has been the ultimate test, and I was not prepared at all for any of this.